Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Crazy But Not Dangerous. I'm Shorty Vaughn, back in the kitchen today. Welcome to my kitchen. For those of you who are new or may not know my story, my name is Shorty Vaughn. I live in Glendale, Arizona. I'm 4'5", and pretty much on this channel, we just do the best we can with what we've got. So today I'm going to try to make a chocolate loaf. I think that sounds amazing, and yeah, let's get down to it. I've made a few adjustments to a recipe that I found on the internet to make it easier and better for me to eat. So I've got a 0 sugar premium cake devil's food cake mix. I've also got a chocolate fudge sugar-free jello pudding mix. And I think that if you could find the sugar-free or what have you in a store brand, then you should save the money. But this is what my store had. Got these both from the Walmart. Actually, off of the Walmart app, I was able to buy 6 of these for $17 and change. Normal price on these is almost $4. So I thought that was an excellent bargain. Yay, hooray. I enjoy baked goods, but I don't enjoy baking that much. And so I like to use these quick, easy cake mix recipes or something simple that you can throw together. So I'm getting a good result, but it's not so fussy. And I hate getting everything down and measuring. It's the exactness of baking that I don't like necessarily. Now, I know I have a lot of terrific scratch bakers out there. Good for you, baby. You go for it. So this is, it should be somewhat like a pound cake. And I am A-okay with that. So we've got our cake mix. We've got our pudding mix. What have y'all been up to? Anything fun or exciting? Tell me down below. So I had company in for a couple of days. And then I also had to have 2 days of recuperation because I've gotten to the point in my life where you have to pay to play. So I had a couple of days of recovery. We had a good time. We tore it up. We talked about old times. We reminisced. We enjoyed each other's company. We went to dinner. I haven't been out to dinner since June 28th, 2023 maybe? Anyhow, so it was luxurious, let me tell you. To have someone come to my table and bring my food, bring me a big glass of water with a slice of lemon, take everything away and not have to do any dishes, hot diggity. Going to dinner is something that we did a lot of before, the pandemic, but since the pandemic, pretty much, I've been making all of the food on the daily. So that was 1/2 cup of water and 1/3 cup of like a vegetable canola oil. Super simple, no sweat. I have an 8-ounce package or 1 cup of sour cream that we're also going to add in here if I can get it open. So what else is going on? My little niece, her birthday is coming up, and I ordered some gifts for her off of the internet, and today all of the things came, so I've got to get those all, wrapped up for her, and we'll be going to her birthday party coming up soon, and I call her my little Chiquita, and she's just a wild child. I just love her. Anyhow, I'll show you what I got her when we pop this cake into the oven. We have a few extra minutes of chit-chat. Just brewed myself a pot of coffee. It is about 3:24 in the morning here. And yeah, I couldn't sleep. And it was one of those, I couldn't sleep and I didn't want to lay there anymore. So I thought, well, I'm just going to get a jump on the day. I'm going to get myself together because I do have an appointment later on this morning at about 9. And I think that was part of the problem why I couldn't sleep. Because I was kind of tired and kept thinking, I'm so tired I'm going to oversleep, and I kept getting up to check the clock. I can tell you that there's a nap in my near future. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and get these things here together. Get some of that stirring going. So I had company in from out of town. My sister Sherry, her husband Danny, They live in our high country. So in Arizona, we have all different kinds of parts of the state. I live in the central part of the state near Phoenix, Arizona. Well, it's just, you could almost spit and hit it. I'm not a good spitter though. Um, anyhow, I live in the central part of the state that is very hot, very desert, cactus, sand, dust storms, that kind of thing. Creosote, mesquite, palo verdes, very rustic, very desert. They live in a northern part of Arizona that is at a much higher elevation, and it's ponderosa pines and green grass and meadows, and it's totally different. Well, they had a big fire up there for a couple of weeks. They're fine. Their house is fine, but it was very smoky, and my sister has a couple of health conditions. So, I told them, yeah, don't sit around and just breathe in the smoke and the ash falls down on you and everything. Come on down. They have the fire under control, thank goodness. And, a terrible loss of wildlife and habitat and trees and what have you. And, it's just a shame. Yeah, it's super dangerous and super scary. And I was in a forest fire in the same area as a young woman with my parents, called the Dude Fire, and it came within 3/4 of a mile from our house, and we got evacuated. And anyhow, there was really only one way in and one way out of this area, and so the traffic to go down the mountain and back, to the low desert took hours, and the whole time you're wondering, like, how close is the fire behind you. And anyhow, scary stuff. I have 4 eggs courtesy of my friend Corey. He has backyard chickens, and he provided me with these nice large brown eggs. Thank you very much, Corey. As a matter of fact, these are the last 4 eggs that he gave me, and I have cleaned up the egg carton for him. I'm going to return that egg carton to him. Not only it saves him money from having to buy an egg carton, but fingers crossed that it gets returned to me full, because eggs are pretty darn pricey in my area. And I always try to chip up for, something. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to be sending over to his house a little mini tin of this chocolate loaf. Thank you for large, beautiful eggs. And I can tell you that they have got just really great, deep, rich centers. They are pretty fantastic. So those should be an excellent addition to my chocolate loaf here. The eggshells, of course, will be going in my garden, because you need a little calcium, a little bit of calcium in your compost pile. So I've got everything ready for my niece and her birthday. Got a little card, and I just use, I have a whole collection of cards. If I go to an estate sale or a yard sale, or if I see a really good buy on cards on Amazon or what have you, I just love stationery. Always have. Anyhow, so I've got a little card picked out for her from my stash, and I don't typically go to the store and spend, $6, $8, $10 on a card. And I just write something nice in a blank card, or maybe I have one for that occasion or what have you. Anyhow, just go ahead and get these combined. It'll be fine. It's no big deal. I could get the hand mixer out, or I could put this in the KitchenAid. But yeah, there's no need. This isn't a big deal. So yeah, it's interesting when you have company, because we're all different, and I think it's fascinating, the difference in people and how we all eat. Even though my sister and I grew up in the same household with the same parents and ate the same foods, how differently she and her husband eat from Andrew and I. So I showed you my grocery haul from Walmart. Well, I had to amend my grocery haul, because ground beef did go on sale for $2.77 a pound. So I did get my limit of 6 pounds of ground beef. And the bacon went on sale for $2.77 a pound, and so I did get my limit of bacon, which was 4 packages, 4 12-ounce packages. So I was super excited about that, but I had to amend my grocery haul because I was talking about what I might cook while my sister was here, and she mentioned that she and her husband don't eat ground beef that has been frozen, that they don't prefer it, that they don't like the ice crystals in it. And anyhow, I tried to explain to her that, like most things, most organic organisms are a certain percentage of water, and when those organisms are frozen, ice crystals, develop, and the act of cooking it or thawing it or what have you would eliminate those ice crystals. Well, they just don't prefer it. And honestly, I just didn't want to get into it that much. I'm usually able to accommodate most any requests. So I was super glad to see that hamburger go on sale. But I asked her, so when you go to McDonald's or Burger King, Jack in the Box, blah, 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 do you think you're getting a fresh hand-formed patty? And she said yes, and I didn't say anything. I just let it go. Because who am I to burst her bubble? Anyhow, I don't really notice any difference between using a fresh ground patty or using hamburgers that I have gotten on sale and frozen. And I mean, there's a difference between there's a difference between something that's frozen and something that's freezer burnt. Now I can see maybe something that's freezer burnt is not your preference. It's not my preference either. But the hamburger never lasts that long in my refrigerator or my freezer. There's no way. Anyhow, when you get this all combined, it'll look pretty smooth, and you should get out at least most of the lumps, I imagine. But it is a pretty thick batter. Yay, hooray. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And I'm going to get my pans ready. This one is well loved. I've had this a long time. It doesn't look the greatest, but I can assure you that it is completely clean. And so, yep, we had a good time. We tore it up. I have a butter wrapper. After I put the butter into the butter keeper, then I just saved the butter wrapper to grease my pans. I paid for it. I'm going to get all of it in there. Butter is on sale today over at my Albertsons for $3.47 a pound or something like that. That's in my price point. So that might be going on my grocery list this week. I have to take a look in my freezer, do a little bit of inventory, and make sure that it is something that I need. Anytime I'm paying less than $4 a pound for butter, I'm pretty happy about that. I also have 2 mini loaf pans I'm going to do as well. And one is going to be for my friend Kim, and then one is going to be for my friend Corey. And I know that both of them watch their carbs. And this is not low in carb. It's no sugar, but it's not low in carbs. So I know that these little mini muffin tins or mini loaf tins will be more than enough. They will both think that that's just the right serving size. And, well, sugar and spice, not that one. They will think that this is just the right serving size, and it will be just fine. Absolutely. And I like to thank Corey for the eggs, and I like to thank Kim because honestly, Kim comes here and the first words out of her mouth are always, "Do you need to go somewhere? Do you want to go somewhere? Do you just want to get out of this house and take a ride?" And she really helps me out. Taking a ride, going somewhere, taking me to an appointment, yada, yada, yada. I just love her. This looks terrific. I'm going to load up the big one first. I'm going to take that one and go ahead and wash it since it fell on the floor. I'll re-prepare it, re-butter it. And then I'm going to put about half of this mix in here as evenly as I can. Now the recipe said that this gets quite full and would make an entire bundt pan, hello, I can't talk today, an entire bundt pan full of this chocolate loaf. So I think that we will have more than enough to do a nice sliced loaf for here at the house for Melissa and Andrew, and I can have about one slice per day until it's gone. That's what I've determined is like a serving size. And then we have more than enough to fill up these two little loaf pans for my gifting. Makes me feel good to gift. You know, there was a time when I could give more luxurious gifts, but I think that a homemade gift, a homemade yum yum, something that you made with your heart is just fantastic. Just a great little something. I thought about you, and here you go. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one cleaned up. My oven's preheating, and then I schmutzed it. I got a little schmutz on there, so I'm just going to clean up around the edges so that I don't have any little burnt pieces. Also got it all over my hand. So we'll go ahead, we'll get these in the oven. I'm going to bake these at 350 degrees until they come clean with a toothpick. I'm thinking in my oven that's probably going to take between 35 and 45 minutes. But I'm going to keep my eagle eye on them because I do not want to burn them up, especially these smaller ones. These smaller ones, maybe 25 minutes is my guess. But, you know, going to watch it. Okay, so I have this pan about halfway full, and each of these small loaf pans halfway full, and I cleaned up the schmutz around the side so that I didn't have any dark, you know, burnt crusties hanging on. Yay, hooray, we're almost at temperature. Gonna get this going. Super excited about this, and I think these sugar-free cake mixes are just a godsend. So I got a really good bargain on the Devil's Food chocolate cake mix sugar-frees over at the Walmart. But honestly, by the time I go over to the Albertsons and try to locate one of their sugar-free loaves, if they have it, it's usually $6, $7, or $8. So I think that this is a great buy, and they're never this big. So fantastic. I'm so excited about it. Gonna get these in the oven, gonna get them baking, and then I'll show them what they look like. I'll show you what they look like when they come back. I really can't talk today. Oi. While that's baking, I do want to make a little bit of a powdered sugar glaze to go on top of my loaves. I just think that that helps keep it moist. It adds a little something to the top, and even just the tiniest bit of like a crispness to it. So I've got some of the sugar-free Swerve confectioner sugar. I get mine in bulk over at our Winco. They have it. And as you can see, I'm really classy. I store mine in a mixed nuts container. It's got a tight fitting lid, and that's all that's really important to me. So I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 heaping tablespoons. That's how much I think it's going to need. Maybe 6. Okay, well, that's plenty. We'll get started with that. If we need more, it's easy enough. You could add milk, but I am simply going to be adding water because I don't want to have to put these into the refrigerator. And so I'm just going to use a little bit of water to dissolve that and make a light glaze. And it's super simple, just as easy as that. I've added a little too much. You can see that it's very... yeah, it's pretty watery. I don't want that, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more. So I'm curious to know, do you all buy hamburger, ground beef, fresh from the store weekly, no matter what the cost is? Or do you buy ground beef when it's on sale and freeze it? Now, I did suggest to her that maybe she needed one of those, you know, seal-a-meal, the air sealers, so that she wouldn't have ice or crystallization as much as just putting it in, a Ziploc baggie like I do. And she just looked at me like, yeah, we're just, no matter what, we're just gonna be buying it every week. You'll never change my mind. And it's not, I don't have any intention to change her mind. It's your money, it's your food, and you can do with it whatever you want. But for me, buying it on sale ensures, number one, that I have a pretty good stock up. Number two, that I have, that I have money in the budget for other things. And she doesn't worry about her grocery budget. And I say, well, bless your heart then, do whatever you want. Have at it. And if I have made too much of this glaze, well, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to put it in a little cup. I'll put it in the refrigerator. And Melissa and Andrew, they'll find something to put it on. Don't worry about that. But yeah, buying some of the sugar-free items, if you can find it in your bulk bins at your health food store or your grocery store, this was much less expensive to get over at the Winco than buying the bag of Swerve with, 8 or 10 ounces in it. It's not very much. So, absolutely, we're saving money and we're making something delicious. This is going to set for a while because I have to get my cakes out of the oven. They're going to have to cool completely. So this will thicken up slightly as it sets. So I'm not going to do anything else to it. I'm going to leave it just here on the counter, do what it does, and get my cakes out, my loaves out, and let them go ahead and start cooling. It is about 30 degrees here. That's our overnight low. I'm running the dryer on the garden because I don't want it, I don't want it to get all all frozen. And I just really can't talk today. I don't know what's going on with me. Tired, I guess. Anyhow, gonna take a look at my loaves. Gonna do the toothpick insert. They smell fantastic and they're getting all big and poofy. Love that. So, while we're waiting, classic TV trivia time. Yay, hooray. Laverne and Shirley. On your mark, get set, and go now. Got a dream and we just know now. Okay, Laverne and Shirley, yay. Laverne and Shirley lived in the downstairs apartment. What was the name of the two guys that lived upstairs? Tell me down below if you know. Yay, hooray. 3 successful dismounts from the loaf pans. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what happens, but whenever I'm on video and I'm going to dismount something from the pan, it never works. It's like when somebody's watching you type and you make all kinds of fumbles and you have, misspellings or, if you have fat fingered or, I can't type when someone watches me, and I can't dismount the loaves from the pan when somebody is watching. Sorry, lovies. But they all 3 came out really nice, and so they're setting out here to cool completely. They feel cool, but I can tell you that they are still warm on the inside, and I don't want that glaze to just kind of, not settle in. I want it to be good. And it has thickened up quite a bit since we set it aside, so I am pretty pleased with the result. That should be good. Gonna give these about 15 more minutes. I'm not in a huge rush. What am I doing today? Well, I'm going to go clean a bathroom. I got a load of laundry in the dryer. I'm going to go ahead and grab that and get that folded. I've got another load in the washing machine, and I'm going to put that into the dryer. That's the great, that's the thing about having company. You've got to pay to play. So I've got all the linens from their bed and extra towels and stuff like that. But they're totally worth it. We had a great time. And so, going to go ahead and just let those go for a few more minutes. Get some chores done, and I'll be back and put the glaze on this and keep on keeping on. So I want to show you the things that I got for my little Liberty, my little niece Liberty. She's going to be turning 8. So I got this Discovery Mind Blown kit. It is a crystal aquarium, underwater glowing garden kind of a thing. I think this looks super fun. I like to inspire girls especially. Hopefully a love of science. I always loved science and math. Those and I just think that it's super important. I know she loves something that's crafty. This is crafty. It's got a little science, and then you make like these weird little crystal fishy things. Anyhow, I think that's super fun. I hope she enjoys that. That was on sale. That was on sale for $14 from Toys R Us. I also got her this Hello Kitty watch. I love Hello Kitty. She is a girl that loves to wear pink. Now she comes up with the wildest outfits. So her last outfit I saw her in was this really frilly dress with brown cowboy boots, and she had painted her face with rainbows and stars, and I thought, this girl needs a Hello Kitty watch. So this is like an interactive watch. It's got a camera. It takes video. It has some games on it, a calculator, pardon me, and a voice recorder, and yeah, Hello Kitty. So I thought that was super cute. It's also a watch. So the child needs to learn to tell some time. But yeah, she comes up with the greatest outfits, and anyhow, I got her this cute little dress, and it's kind of like a coral color, and then it has like these hibiscus flowers. I would say that's a hibiscus. Anyhow, in like a maroon, fuchsia, I don't know, kind of a color. It's long sleeved, so she can wear it now, and she'll be able to wear it for a couple of months. She may also be able to wear it next winter. Like I said, I like to buy a dress because, you know, she can wear it as a dress now. Next season, next winter, if it's too short as a dress, she may be able to wear it as a top with some leggings. So I think it can be multifunctional. We don't grow that fast in our family. So she might get a couple of different times out of that. So I thought those were all really cute. Do I like to spoil them? Absolutely. So she's turning 8. I got her a 7 and 8. Hope that fits. And if not, I've got the gift receipt. I'll pop it in there. But I am an auntie that loves to spoil my great nieces and nephews. Some of my nieces and nephews are just a few years different in age than I am. I'm the oldest, but you know, they might be in their 40s or 30s, that kind of thing. So I wasn't able to spoil them as much as I'm able to spoil their kids. And I just think it's great. And I tell them all, if you need things, you need a ride, you need someone to talk to, you need a confidant, you need an adult, and you're not comfortable going to your mom and dad for whatever reason, that you can trust Aunt Shorty. Aunt Shorty is always here for you no matter what. Now that doesn't mean that we're going to keep things from your mom and dad, but you need me to come pick you up. You need something, and you're not comfortable going to your mom and dad. I would rather have them come to me with a question or with a problem and help them through it than for them to turn to, a friend. A friend for advice. At least come to someone with a little bit of life experience. I have managed to keep myself alive this long, so I'm doing better than your 14 or 15-year-old girlfriend who doesn't have as much life experience. And okay, all right, and it's so cute when they call and, hi, Aunt Shorty. Hi, baby. What's going on? Nothing. I just had a bad day and I want to tell you about it. Okay, take a deep breath. Tell me all about it. We'll work it out. And it's funny what they think is just the end of the world. And you're like, okay, well, we got this was an easy one. I've got the solution. So then sometimes they call you. Okay, well, I don't know the solution for this one. But we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to look at some resources. I'm going to send you some things to look at. We're going to talk this through. Let's go ahead and get your mom and dad on the phone. It'll be okay. But I love being an auntie. And I never had any kids, but I always wanted grandkids. About 10. And Jackie keeps going. I'm telling you what, it's going to feel like it. Anyhow, she's already decided that 7 is an unlucky number and that she's shooting for 8 at the minimum. All right, well, baby, you can afford to feed them. You just keep on keeping on, you know. Anyhow, gonna go ahead and find a bag for this. Get a little bow going on, you know. Make it feel special because she's my little Chiquita. I think that these are cool enough to get started with a little bit of that sugar-free glaze. And just drizzle that on top. Yay, hooray. As much or as little as you want. Like I said, I do think that this adds a little extra sweetness to it, a little bit of extra protection for moisture. And here we go. You can get as fussy and fancy with it as you want. I just have this on a cooling rack with a piece of parchment underneath of it so that I don't have a big mess to clean up. And I think we're going to have just enough. Perfect. Perfect. A little bit more on this side. All right. Fantastic. I don't think anybody is ever going to complain about too much drizzle. There are a lot of things to complain about in this world, but I don't think drizzle is one of them. Okay, I'm going to let those just sit there. I'm going to turn the overhead fan on so that those can continue to set up. That icing, that really simple glaze will go ahead and harden, and those will be fantastic. But I think that this is going to be a super duper chocolatey loaf. Could you add chocolate chips to it? Absolutely. They even make a sugar-free chocolate chip that is not a bad price at the Walmart. Sadly, my Walmart was out of those. You could add nuts. You could, yeah, the possibilities, they're endless. Where will you go with a chocolate loaf? Anyhow, my lovelies, be good, be careful, look both ways. I love ya. Big ol' smooches, huge squeeze-a-ronies. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Crazy But Not Dangerous. Bye now.